Hello and welcome to the first edition of Army News. In this premier newscast, we have news on Army transformation, information on the weapons effects simulation system, and an update on the Clothe the Soldier program. Our first item is an introduction by Brigadier General Gaston Cote, commander of LFQA.
L'été 2004 est une étape importante dans l'information qu'on vous envoie à tout le monde. Vous n'êtes pas sans savoir qu'il y a une transformation en profondeur de l'armée de terre. Nous avons de nouveaux véhicules, tels celui-ci. Nous avons aussi de nouvelles procédures de combat qui sont en train d'être développées et beaucoup d'autres équipements qui vont bientôt joindre notre inventaire. Conséquemment, il est nécessaire de mieux vous informer. Et à ce titre-là, ici même à Valcartier, nous aurons bientôt des téléviseurs qui vont donner des images qui s'appellent en fait les nouvelles de l'armée. Ce sont vos nouvelles qui sont avant tout centrées sur l'analyse et qui vous donnent des images de ce que la transformation, réellement, qu'est-ce que ça veut dire. Ces nouvelles de l'armée, par contre, ne vont faire que résumer l'information étant donné le temps disponible. Ce sera donc à vous d'aller chercher plus en détail sur certains aspects de l'information qui vous seront présentés. Ces détails seront fournis soit sur le site intranet, soit sur le site Internet ou dans les journaux que nous publions de façon régulière. Mais encore une fois, ça vous engage à vous de faire votre travail, de compléter l'information qui vous sera présentée. Alors, bonne lecture et bon visionnement. Les nouvelles de l'armée sont vos nouvelles et sont là pour vous informer sur tous les aspects de la transformation de l'armée.
Dans le contexte de la transformation de l'armée au cours des prochaines années, il y a un souci de la chaîne de commandement puis de toute l'armée d'avoir des meilleurs moyens de communication, de vous informer. Donc, à partir de cet été, une initiative qui a été mise de l'avant, c'est d'avoir un circuit fermé pour vous informer via la télévision, qui est disponible maintenant dans toutes les unités puis dans tous les services au niveau de la brigade puis de la garnison à Valcartier, pour s'assurer qu'on vous donne de l'information à jour, de l'information qui est juste au niveau des politiques, des directives, mais aussi de ce qui se passe au niveau de votre armée. Que ce soit dans le secteur de l'Ouest, dans le secteur du Centre, ou bien dans le secteur du Québec ou de l'Atlantique, vous allez être maintenant mieux informé sur ce qui se passe dans votre armée. Une armée qui se veut une vision, une équipe, puis une armée où que tout le monde va pouvoir se reconnaître à l'intérieur de l'information qui va être véhiculée via une nouvelle technologie qui, nous l'espérons, que vous allez apprécier et qui va aussi vous permettre de mieux comprendre dans quel contexte qu'on évolue au niveau de l'armée de terre et au niveau de toute la transformation là, de l'armée au cours des prochaines années.
Hi, you're watching the Army News.
Army transformation is a huge part of helping the Army move forward. Major General Marc Caron talks about how Army transformation will affect us in the near future.
Joining us today to speak about Army transformation is Major General Marc Caron, Acting Chief of Land Staff, Commander of Canada's Army. Thank you for joining us today, sir. Sir, could you please tell us what is Army transformation and what does it mean to our soldiers?
Transformation is a way of ensuring that the Army remains relevant and offers to the nation the broadest number of options possible. Our operation in the last 10 years has shown us a new security environment post-Cold War. This new security environment requires a new way of doing business. So at the soldier level, we'll see different units. We'll see different ways of training, more realistic ways of training in accordance to the secure environment. We'll see new equipment, new capabilities put in our units to ensure that we remain relevant and offer the broadest number of options to government in this new security environment. That's transformation.
Army transformation involves significant changes in equipment. Can you tell us some of these changes and what they are?
We realize fully that we are breaking new grounds here with the putting together a unit, a direct fire unit, subunit of the mobile gun system, the air defense anti-tank system, ADATS, and the tow under armored. This, maybe in the past they could have been called to work together on very specific, very particular operation. Now we are forcing them to work together. In the same subunit, you will find those three systems. Of course, ADAS gives you a capability to engage beyond 7 kilometers on mobile moving targets. It gives you the 3D aspect with the air defense system. It maintains the air defense capability, of course. You've got the tow under armor, 4 kilometers on moving targets. And you've got this mobile gun system, which will give you, which can fire on the move and give you 2 kilometers. The combination of those three working together fits right into what we want to do in transformation. This system of system, this direct fire system of system, will offer the broadest number of options possible for operation. It will do complex terrain. It will do combat. Of course, it can't take tank on tank, but no tank has a range of 7 kilometers. So we will learn to work together, to put those three systems together and ensure that they work well together. Matter of fact, we have war games that have been completed. We're examining the result of those war games, and we may have to readjust some elements. We're conducting a trial with the LDSH this summer, where we'll use our current system, the Leopard, the ADATs still on tracks, and the tow under armor still on tracks, and trying to learn a few things of how those things work together. But we're very confident that this system of system will offer us the broadest number of options possible to serve in this new security environment. This is the key message. Transformation is the business of everyone in the Army. You need to understand, every level needs to understand why we're doing this transformation. We need to be relevant and usable by the government. And this vision that we have ensures that we can offer the broadest number of options. And you need to understand all this, not the detail, but to understand why we're doing it and how we're doing it. I know the COs, the commanding officers out there know this, and they should explain to all their members, all the members of the units, why we're transforming so everybody can find their place and their contribution in this transformation. This transformation is key to the vision of the new Army that will offer all of the maximum of options to government, where we will be combat capable and we'll be able to operate in complex terrain. We will be able to do all of the stuff that we've been doing in the last 10 years, but in an improved way. So you need to understand why we're doing it and how we're doing it, so that you find your contribution and you make that contribution. If you don't understand, ask the commanding officer. I know he has the answers for this. You have a role to play in transformation.
As we have heard, one of the many aspects of Army transformation is changing the way we train. And nowhere is this more evident than in Wainwright, Alberta, where the Army's leading-edge Canadian Manoeuvre Training Centre will open in 2006. The Weapons Effects Simulation System, or WESS, will become a key component of the Army's new training system and is now in the final stages of acceptance, and Army News was there to get a first-hand look.
One's dead, which one? Okay, I've been killed.
The WESS gear was trialed earlier this spring in Edmonton by members of the 1st Battalion, Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry, and Colonel Mike Kampman offers this overview of how WESS will be employed.
The weapons effects simulation system is absolutely vital. It is the key driver, the key enabler that allows us to raise the bar on training, brings in modern technology, brings in modern force-on-force scenarios, and once again, we're going to get away from the old days where the guys would be just firing blanks, not realizing who shot who or how successful they are. Now we're going to introduce that technology that'll tell the soldier if he's successful or not, drive how we look at our tactics, how we use our equipment.
All right, I'll give you covering fire. Get to the garbage cans.
Okay. The WESS system encompasses a variety of sensors that will establish when a soldier's been hit, how badly, and even what type of treatment the medic needs to apply.
He's dead!
I think this is probably the single greatest training aid for learning the soldier's job, the individual soldier's basic job of fieldcraft, of weapons firing, everything.
It makes you think about your individual field craft, individual movement. Generally, when you're just doing blanks, you know, you're tired, you're exhausted, all you're thinking about is getting up there. With this system here, you actually have to employ the battlecraft you've been taught. Now you're thinking about where's cover, where can I move to, what's my next bound going to take me to, can I be seen, can I see the enemy, can I be shot?
Overall, both Army leadership and soldiers spoke positively about the WEST system, emphasizing that it will instill a greater sense of tactical awareness and field craft from the individual level right on up to the battle group fighting force. Our next story deals with the Clothe the Soldier program, and Sergeant Derek Scott gives us a sitrep of where the program is and what new kit will be in soldiers' hands soon.
In 1995, the Canadian Forces introduced the Clothe the Soldier program, providing soldiers serving at home or abroad with the latest in equipment and clothing technology. Each year, the Canadian textile industry holds a symposium where a variety of companies display their latest developments in the high-tech equipment and clothing trade. Major Doug Palmer, project director of Clothe the Soldier program for Land Staff, was on hand and provided this update.
Clothe the Soldier project is a $287 million project to upgrade equipment for the Canadian soldier. The Clothe the Soldier project for 2004 is probably going to be in its highest tempo of delivery to the field force that it's been in its history. We've got out of the one-size-hurts-all business. We have, particularly with respect to load carriage, the fragmentation vest will come in 16 different sizes. The rucksack will be in 4 torso lengths with 4 shoulder strap configurations or 4 hip belt configurations.
The project objectives are to improve environmental protection with clothing, headwear, footwear, and gloves, improve ballistic head and body protection, introduce camouflage for temperate and arid regions, and provide soldiers with an integrated load carriage system.
The heavy load isn't going to go away, so you need to make sure that you're sized correctly, that you've got the right configuration so that you can do your job to the best of your ability. Recently, the commander has made the decision that Afghanistan will switch to arid regions based on the advice from his staff, and that capability exists. There are arid regions uniforms, helmet covers, rucksack covers. The tactical vest is still in temperate woodland, but we are looking to manufacture that in arid regions as well. And within, I would say, 18 months, there will be tactical vests in arid regions as well as temperate woodland. Based on the roto of 3 RCR coming back to Canada was indicative, I think, of the comments I've been getting generally. The equipment has been well received, particularly the tactical vest. We're getting a lot of positive feedback. There's always 1 or 2 guys out there who have their concerns, but we are addressing those, and we have actually made a couple of product improvements to the vest based on feedback from Kabul already. We use reservists, we use females, we use males. There is a huge effort to make sure that we get soldier input to all of the items that are being brought into service. So there's a constant movement of information from the field to the Clothe the Soldier project, from the units and the areas and the brigades to give us the latest information on how best to configure or change or manage a particular item so that it works for the soldier in the field. The Clothe the Soldier project becomes the baseline for equipment for the field soldier for the next project called the Integrated Soldier System Platform. Communications, command and control, and intelligence capabilities to the individual soldier, or enhance them, will increase his and her mobility on the battlefield, and we will make some substantial changes probably to the firepower capability as well.
Clothe the Soldier program is an integral part of Army transformation. The next phase will be called the Integrated Soldier System Platform, which will continue to move the Canadian Forces towards becoming the Army of tomorrow.
In Ottawa, for Army News, Sergeant Derek Scott.
The Military Family Resource Center and the Deployment Support Group are 2 extremely important organizations to all families of deployed soldiers. Sergeant Cedric Hamel found out why.
The Deployment Support Group and Valcartier Family Center play an important role during this program. Here's an overview of their roles, accomplishments, and services they offer to militaries and their family.
Bonjour, bienvenue au centre de la famille Valcartier. Comment puis-je vous aider?
The Deployment Support Group is a unit that is part of the chain of command. Therefore, we are all militaries that have been trained in helping relationships and suicide prevention. All the militaries that are part of my section come from these units living in deployment. This is an emergency service. I like to call it the 911-411 of the Army to help families go through a deployment. Our first mandate is to support the deployment through all its phases. It's in crisis or emergency situations that people will call us. When we are not able to respond to the demand, of course, we refer them to specialists. The Valcartier Family Center is a non-profit organization that was created by the wives of the militaries. It's offered to all military population, not only in the family dwellings, but all over eastern Quebec where all the reserve units are being served. A number of workshops will be offered to couples that are coming back, are being reunited, or that will live together once again. It's upon request. As for the youth, the leisure groups will also go on. I think I'd like to thank all the families that have gone through and are living the deployment. I take my hat off to them, and I think that all of us are really proud of their accomplishments.
How would you anticipate the reintegration of your spouse upon his return?
With communication, understanding, respect, and lots of love, there is no problem. All will go well.
For all those who wish to get more information on the role and services of the Valcartier Family Center and the Deployment Support Group, consult our website or dial the phone number appearing at the bottom of the screen. This is Sergeant Cedric Hamel for Army News at the Valcartier Family Center.
Thank you, Sergeant Hamel. Winter is long in certain parts of our country, but nowhere is it colder than in Hall Beach, Nunavut. Sergeant Kevin Guillena made the trip to the top of Canada, and he filed this very chilling report.
Here in the open Arctic, members from 2 Combat Engineer Regiment from Canadian Forces Base Petawawa are conducting their training exercise with the local Canadian Ranger Patrolling Group.
The primary objective of SOVOP is to demonstrate Canada's ability to operate in the northern environment. From our point of view, we really had 2 major objectives. The first was to conduct engineering tasks in the Arctic, and the second was to get involved with the local community, the Rangers, to experience the culture of the far north. When we first came to the community, we wanted to look for some projects so we could give something back to the community for our visit here. We decided on replacing the floor of their community center that's used every night by the local population.
We came to the community center to replace the community center floor. It was a 2,800 square foot vinyl covered floor that was in bad shape, and now we're replacing it with a vinyl composite floor.
For the community itself, they worked on the community halls flooring system, and I think they looked at few vehicles and a few other things, like also for the economy too, like they are buying supplies from especially fuel from the co-op. Okay. And for the Rangers, this is a chance to do interaction and basically teach, and we learn something from these guys, and we teach them at the same time.
All those guys are tough. Oh yes, they are. I shake their hands. It's tough people. They can survive in this climate and everything. Like we got I think his name is Peter, 71 years old. Very tough individual. Just last night, we did the section move, and I actually only had a 1 hour sleep, and he pulled the whole night or two. Yeah, and still awake.
With igloo building, ice fishing, and sealing, the Canadian Rangers are an integral part of the Canadian Forces soldiers up here in the Arctic. This is Sergeant Kevin Guillena reporting, Army News, Hall Beach, Nunavut.
This is Army News, your news for your Army, and we would like to hear from you. We welcome your feedback. Please visit our website at army.gc.ca. For Army News, I am Sergeant Craig Reed.